Hi, everybody. Good evening or good day, depending on where you are in the world. It's fantastic to be here live tonight with you all, and thank you so much for joining me on the topic of looking to rebuild financial independence for you and your family. It's something I'm very passionate about, and I'm going to tell partly my story as I go through the session tonight. But it's actually very topical this week because the mentors I've been working with, including Caroline and Jamie, we've all been focusing on talking about financial independence and our relationship with money. And this topic tonight is really about that for you. It's about how can you get into a financial situation where you feel that you are thriving rather than surviving. And that is a tagline that I always refer to. It resonates very much with me. I think I've spent many years in a place where I felt like I was just surviving and making ends meet. And wanted to be in a much better situation so I could have more flexibility and enjoy life and be happy with my family. And I'm not completely there yet, but I'm certainly on that journey to do that. And that's partly because I changed career into a very well-paid but flexible career sector using Salesforce. But also I have invested in properties along the way. And I didn't have money to invest in property to start with. I borrowed money. So what I'm going to be talking about is all the things that I have done. I haven't done it because I've had the finance myself. I've gone out and asked for support for that finance. I've had plenty of rejections too, but I have sourced finance to make things possible for myself. And so I'm going to share with you some top tips about how you can attract finance to make yourself financially independent, because you might not feel like you have the resources now in your back pocket. But what I want you to be aware of, and this is what I've been really like this week with my mentors, it's all come back to me, like everything I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is very much about this. It's about actually the most successful people out there are successful because people have helped them out along the way, because people have invested in them. And I want to be able to change your psychology and your mindset around not feeling ashamed to ask for help, because I know that that was me. I feel like my career could have been accelerated much more had I asked for investment in my 20s. And, I didn't, because I felt like I have to do it myself. I have to pay for everything out of my own pocket. And that didn't get me where I needed to be. I lost that first business because I didn't ask for investment. I was too proud. I felt like I was a failure. I felt I was not good enough. And now going through to my 30s and 40s, that shifted because I started going to lots of events where I realized that all the people around me who were being successful had found people to invest in them. And you might think that's lucky and easy to do, but what I'll share with you tonight is how do you track that investment? How can you do that if you want to invest in changing your career, buying property? You can come from nothing and you can still be something. What you need to do is prepare to ask for investment, and that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. And then to choose where you want to go. Obviously, I can share with you a little bit about the journey that I've gone into with Salesforce and property investment. They might resonate with you, they might not. What I'm going to be telling you is to research and find out something that works for you and that will give you the financial freedom that you need. So, a couple of options I can put on the table, but certainly there's other things out there. And I'm always, happy to help people think about the best option for them. But if you want to make a shift and you want to invest in yourself personally and professionally to get that new situation for yourself, the likelihood is that you're going to need to ask for investment from somebody to help you if you haven't got that situation, if you haven't got your own financial resources to do it. If you have got your own financial resources, what you want to do is do the same exercise, because you've got to work out whether it's right to invest in yourself. Like this opportunity that you're looking at, is it the right thing? Is it a good use of my money? So actually all the top tips I'm going to be sharing with you resonate very much about investing in yourself and your own money, and using something like a credit card or a loan, which I've certainly used in the past. You've got to assess that decision as much as going to your family friend or whatever, or a bank, to say, actually, I'd like some investment to do this, that, and the other. So what I'd like to leave you with is the idea of possibility at the end of the session, that if you are in a place where you feel that you are not in a financially stable position, that you'll feel like you're surviving, that you feel like you want to achieve something different, then hopefully I can give you some advice and guidance about how you can move there. This is not financial advice. What it is a mindset shift around thinking about how do I attract investment to me to make the changes. So just a little bit about me and why I do this. I love I'm passionate, sorry, about educating people and women particularly about how they can achieve a flexible, well-paid career. That started with Supermums, which is one of my brands that I run, which is about helping women carve out a flexible, well-paid career within the Salesforce sector. I also recently launched a property investment business called Prowess Properties, which is focusing on purchasing properties for women who have found themselves in a situation where they can't get a mortgage, and we're renting those properties out going forward to women that need to rebuild their lives. So I'm very passionate about educating people about these things. And as I say, I resonate with a lot of this. I have 10 years ago, I was very focused on I need to make a shift because I was fed up of being in a situation where, I was living off credit cards. I'd lost a business and I couldn't get a mortgage because I was self-employed. I have been rejected for finance. Even with Supermums, I went to 5-6 different funders and they didn't give me investment in it. So in the end, we charged for training courses and I invested through my existing business into it. And I've been in those shoes where I've been rejected over and over again, but I've not given up. And that's what's really important, is that you don't give up on this, that you will find that way of making it work and that person that wants to invest in you, and I'll tell you how. And the other thing for me also, I've wanted to be financially independent because, I wanted to get divorced. I was in a situation that was not working for me, that was leaving me in an unhappy situation. And, that desire to be financially independent was key to my ability to make that choice and decision so I could thrive and not just survive if I made that choice of, having a property and paying all the bills myself and everything else. That impact of suddenly realizing there's not two of you sharing everything for finances, is a big hit. And equally, if you're a single parent, you want to be in a position where you're not feeling like you're having to work all hours, that you can still go and see your kids at the sport matches, go and pick them up from school. And I'm very lucky to have made those career choices 10 years ago that are allowing me to do that right now, that are allowing me to make that time for my kids, to be able to earn a certain level of income. And this isn't just me. I have helped over 500 mums and dads now through Supermums literally change their life. And that's what they say to me. It's really quite emotional, these people just say, "You've really changed my life. Thank you so much." And you can't get a better job than that, right? It's helping people make their lives better for them and their kids. And, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm about. That's what I love to do. So as I say, hopefully something will land with you tonight one way or another, and it will be useful for you. So let's think about how you can be moving to that position of thriving rather than surviving. What is it that would look like for you? Is it about being able to pick up the kids, work part-time, work remotely, all of those things that have been really important to me? And I chose Salesforce as a career. Was it back in 2012? Because there were loads of job opportunities. There's a massive shortage in that talent sector. It was a career that I'd looked at and thought, well, actually, I've got really good transferable skills here. Never worked in tech before. Many of you might not even know what Salesforce is. I didn't know what Salesforce was. It is a CRM system. It's the #1 CRM system in the world. And that effectively is a database that holds all your customer information. So if you call a bank, and they've got all their details, so Barclays use Salesforce. The bank basically has all your customer information, has the mortgages they've given you, has all your bank account information, has all the emails and phone calls and everything that they have about you. So thousands and millions of companies who use Salesforce CRM globally, and charities as well. And as a Salesforce professional, I can go in and implement that system for those organizations and manage that system. And that's the career I chose for myself back in 2012. And I was able to earn 5k a month working 3 days a week, just having my newborn daughter. And at that point, my motivation was to move out of the city and to be able to have more time with my family. And actually that ended up being really so important because my daughter wanted to be breastfed the whole year. She would not take bottles at all. And the partner that I was with at the time, wanted me to still pay 50% into the bills. So I was in that position where I had to work, but I had to look after the kid. And I was like, okay, I'm really glad that I chose this career for myself, because I was able to earn good day rates of 450 a day. and still have that ability to work remotely and juggle things with the child. Hopefully get into a routine when she was like, hopefully she'll need feeding every 4 hours. Didn't always work like that, but I tried my best to get that routine. So as I say, I empathise with where you are now, and people say, well, how do I do that? How do I invest in making this career choice? How did I get into property? That was because somebody lent me money. And I've been through a course learning about financial investment, and actually, there's so many men and women that have made the decision to invest in property, and they've had no money. They've borrowed money to do that. You can absolutely borrow money to invest in properties. You can borrow money to invest in a training course to further your career. And that's why it's very important that you know how to ask for investment and don't feel ashamed about it, because that's where I felt like I was. As I say, I felt ashamed that I had to ask for money, and I didn't in my 20s and early on. And as we get older, you might still be in that kind of mindset. But as I say, the more that I met people and the more that I networked, and again, these sessions this week that I've had with my own mentors and as part of some training workshops, I've just re-emphasized the importance of asking help from others and not being proud of that, and being that this is the right thing to do. That takes courage and bravery and strength, and that's absolutely the right thing to do, is to ask for investment. But you want to do it in a really prepared way, and not just say, oh, could you lend me this 2 grand for this course, or could you lend me 20-30 grand for a property, slightly different scenario, and leave it at that, because they're going to go, yeah, right, they're not going to do that. So you need to put a bit more of a considered sort of proposition together and approach it in a bit more of a formulated way. But I guarantee if you can get investment to change your life, to invest in a new career choice, or to invest in property, or to launch a business that you want to do, which are all these things that I've faced personally, you absolutely can do it. But you will get rejected along the way, and say, don't let that put you off, particularly if one person, it says, oh, don't be silly, why are you doing that for? The likelihood is they're not educated. You need to speak to educated people when you're making these decisions, and you need to do your proper market research and believe in yourself that this is possible. And if somebody else doesn't believe in you, they're not the one for you. You've got to go and find the person who believes in you. So let's talk a little bit about, how do you change that mindset? How do you believe in yourself? How do you believe that this is possible? And how do you move forward from where you are now, which might be a pretty miserable sort of financial existence and a lifestyle, to one where you want to be able to live out your best life? Because I have seen everyone in both property investment and Salesforce, through Supermums and the organization I'm with, through property investment, literally every walk of life, every age, loads of people with no financial backing or history have sourced investment and have changed their life. Like, it absolutely is possible. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about changing mindset is why. Finding the why. Why do you want to do this? Because you've got to be hungry enough to make this change for yourself. You've got to decide, what is your story here? What is it that you want to achieve, and why are you going to make this decision? Because you will only invest in yourself. Like, you're only going to spend your own money, never mind somebody else's money, if you've got a really big why. And people are going to invest in you if you can share your why with them, because they will be overbowled by your passion and your enthusiasm and your story, and they buy into you as a person. They'll want to help you get to your vision of where you want to be, and they'll resonate with potentially the pain of where you are now. So the first thing is to find your why. Get really, really motivated about what difference this will make to you, what you want for your life, for your kids, for your future, and find that why, because that's going to make you take all the next steps that I'm going to talk about. Because if you haven't got a strong enough why, you're not going to be bothered to do the rest of the things. Like, the rest of the next things will take effort and time, but it will make it happen. And asking for investment, as I say, takes courage. You're not going to ask for that. But if you've got a really, really big why that is burning inside of you, you will go, it's like for your kids, you'll do anything, right? You will do anything to make it possible, and you won't stop until you've got it. So that's the level of hunger that I want you to have when you've really decided on the why is this going to work for me. And say it could be about your kids, but it could be about you as well, because maybe You might be in a situation where you've not worked for quite a number of years, and maybe that's limiting your confidence and your beliefs in yourself, and you don't recognize yourself from 10 years ago. So you want to refine that person. There could be lots of reasons why making a difference and having a better career and having a better financial sustainability is going to empower you. And be a better, if you work on yourself first, you're a better person for your partner, for your kids, for your colleagues. There's got to be a why for you. Don't forget you. So that's the first thing. Think about the why. The second is, once you've got that why, then figure out how. What is it that you're going to do? What career is it that you're going to do? So I'm going to use Salesforce as an example, but I say you could do research in a number of different career sectors. This doesn't have to be these. It could be Salesforce or property investment or anything else that is out there that will give you that financial freedom that you want. But what I say about Salesforce and how I talk about it to mums and dads that show interest is, talk to informed people, talk to our team at Supermums, book in a call, find out what it's about, read and do. We've got a 5-day challenge that you can do, which tells you everything about the sector. Find out about the job opportunities, find out about what transferable skills you might have now that you could bring over into that new career, find out about the different industries that are relevant for that new career. So again, you can look at, okay, what have I done in the past, and actually how much of that can I move over into a new career, into a Salesforce career, and how could it work? Find out, say, about the salaries and the job opportunities, and really feel like if there's a connection there for you, because you've got to feel excited about it. You've got to think, yeah, actually I could do this. This career would really resonate with me. So do your market research, talk to people, watch videos, watch YouTube. All the people that have joined our courses have done quite a lot of research into this, because that's got them excited and really said, yeah, actually, you know what? This is the career that I want to do. I've talked to people who've done the course, I've talked to people within the sector, I've talked to recruiters, I've talked to people who run the training. Do that market research. So as I said, it takes effort. There's got to be real sort of motivation for you to do this research. But once you've decided on the career choice for you, then you decide, well, how do I make this happen? What training do I do? And so with Supermums, we talk about the whole training that we do to get people from A to Z. So ours isn't just a training course. We also provide work experience, which gives them up to 3 references. We give them a one-to-one mentor. They get career coaching. We get recruitment support. They have live training. So there's a whole package and suite of support to get somebody from an A to Z career change. And I know that because that's part of my background years ago, when I was looking at how to help people transition into new jobs and to land job opportunities. So by all means, the people that talk to us at Supermums do check out other training options. They do compare what works for them. And so find out how you can make this work. So that's your second stage. Find the how. The third is look at the when. So if you're like, yes, this job's for me. Yes, I really want to make this change. Yes, I've checked out the training and I know how I can make this happen. Look at when you're going to do it. Look at your capacity and set out a realistic timescale for when you can make things happen. Some of our mums that come on our course will do the 6-month course. They juggle their hours around their childcare. So we typically have 16 hours a week on our course, and they juggle that in the evenings. The course is pretty flexible, apart from 2.5 hours a week, which actually is also recorded. So people have done this around their full-time jobs, bless them, which is incredible, quite frankly. But also people have done it when they've got no kids, or their kids have left and gone to school. So everybody's in different situations. But I tell you what, it's their why which is motivating them to do this. They will find the time to do this. And so that 16 hours a week is where they are building their capacity. And then they're saying, okay, some of our mums say, look, I'm going to finish the course before summer. Then I'll get a look for a job after the summer. So that you're going to look for a job at September. It might take you 1 or 2 months to get a job. So that's going to be October, November. So plan it out, what your milestones are. And that might be not just for the next sort of year or so. You might sort of say, well, actually, what's my plan long term? I quite often say in the Salesforce sector, you can double your salary within 2 to 5 years, depending on what effort you put in. So if you started at the bottom rung, which definitely not everybody has to do, but your bottom rung is maybe 35, 40K. if you're working full time. If you're a contractor, like I was working at, you got for 250, 300 day rates initially. But then you can quickly progress, by getting additional certifications, switching jobs, learning more. The more you put into learning, the more you can develop. So in a couple of years, you could have doubled that from 35 to 40k up to sort of 70. Or working as a contractor, you could be earning 400, 450 day rates. So, some people have done it that quick. Others will do it in 3-4 years. And so if you educate yourself on the career opportunities, what's possible, what you need to do to get where you need to be, which is what I love doing, is educating you about the options, you can work out very quickly, okay, this is what I need to do to get there. So have a plan. An investor wants to know the plan, right? And so the final thing is, if you are, really confident in this, you've got a real passion for it, you're looking and know the plan of action, write this all down for yourself. Because if you believe you can do it, then somebody else will too. But you've got to be really, really clear in that message of, why do I want to do this? How would I do it? And how do I know it's possible? When and what is the timescale of this going to happen? Because if you say, write it down and it all makes sense to you, then if you share that with anybody else in a very informed, confident, passionate way, they'll believe it too. That's the first step you've got to go on. And you've got to be really clear on what you want. So what level of investment are you looking for? And what does that investor want back in return? Now, if you went down the routes like some of the situations I did for my training courses, I used credit cards, which had 0% interest over 12 to 18 months. So I could obviously repay it once I started earning that money back. And when you're earning 450 day rates, you'll quickly be able to refill that money back and sort of put that back into the pot. I managed to get a bank loan out. Never knew I could get a bank loan until I was like, I really want to do this course. Okay, where do I get this loan from? And within seconds, I had like 15 grand in my account. I was like, wow, okay, I never knew money was that easy. Like, money is easy to get hold of sometimes, and you don't really realize it. But I've also gone out to investors, as I say, had rejections. I've had rejections from credit card before, so it's not always been easy. And I thought, oh, maybe I can't get a credit card. But then I tried another one, and I got that one. I'm like, oh, okay. And then people are like, oh, yeah, you can get another one. I'm like, oh, okay. So different people, don't get disillusioned. If you try one source that says no, try another and keep going. And so be clear about what investors might want. So if you are going to other people, credit card and loan, you're doing yourself. But if you're going to a bank or a friend and family member, what is it they want in return? Maybe they don't want anything. They just want to see you being happy, which is lovely. Or maybe they want you to educate them in what you've been learning. Or maybe they want an interest rate, in which case, can you offer them interest, which is over and above the bank loan? So the bank interest, which is very low at the moment. So is it that you can give them something more? Because if you can, share with them exactly what you want and say, offer them something in return, there's more buy-in for them too. And the thing is, an investor, if they believe in you, they will be your biggest cheerleader. They're going to support you along the way. So building a really trusted relationship with them is really important. Having regular communication with them seeing the plan for you and where you are on those milestones, and having a course that keeps them accountable. So another reason why people have chosen Supermums as a career choice for themselves is, or as a training course to get into that career, is that it's a very accountable program. It's a very solid program that is over 6 months, 16 hours a week. There's set homework each week. You have a mentor that oversees your homework. So you have people to be responsible to for your journey. So if you're going to an investor and they're saying, okay, well, what's going to make you do this? You can sort of say, well, my why is my big reason why I'm going to do this. But secondly, I'm on a course which is very well mapped out and keeps me accountable to doing things, and I can see exactly where I'm going to be and what I'm going to get from it in 6 months' time. And people join, as I say, because if they're just given an online training course which is self-study, people don't motivate themselves. I mean, I'll put my hands up to that. I've done quite a few courses, or paid, let's say I've paid for courses where I just bought them and never watched one or two and then never finished it, right? It can, there's so much of that, I think. And, that's not great for you or the person that ran the course effectively, because they're not getting the outcomes that you wanted. Whereas I've been very mindful to make my course at Supermums very regimented, so they've got somebody to be accountable to. And similarly, in the property investment, I've got a mentor that works with me and it keeps me on track. And if I'm not putting in a call with her, she's like, Heather, like, we need a call, like, what's going on? And I'm like, okay, I need to do stuff. So I absolutely pay for that accountability, because I know personally I don't make things happen if I haven't got an accountability partner to work with. Yes, I have a why, when I go back to why do I want to make this happen, and that absolutely should be strong enough. But our emotional journey and our capacity, when sometimes we're in a bit of a financial struggle or emotional balance with things going on, as I've been going through a divorce and trauma of other stuff happening, and not being in a great situation, it can be hard to keep motivating yourself and keep progressing. So people at Supermums, the people that work with us love that peer group support. They work with other mums and dads that are in a similar position. They all cheer each other on, and they're all accountable. So you want to keep all that going. So just to really wrap up on those 3 points, and that's it really from me tonight, is I want you to be mindful that having a financial freedom and independence is absolutely possible for you. And that is possible even though you feel like you have no financial resources right now. I want you to get clear on like what life you want for yourself. Find the why. What is it that you really want? Because right now where you might be might not be where you want to be. I was in that place. I wasn't happy. I was struggling. I wanted a different life for myself. And I found people to help me. But to find people to help me takes investment quite a lot of the time. And so I had to ask for investment to get there, or I had to find investment through a credit card or loan or whatever it is. But the only reason I invested in something is because, secondly, I did the how. What is it that I could do that would give me the financial freedom? How could I make it possible? And what education training partner could I work with to teach me how to do it well? Like, I would never do any of these things by myself. Like, I need somebody to teach me how to get from A to Z to that financial thrive. And that definitely has helped me achieve where I am today. And ask for help from people to invest in you to make that career choice, to purchase those properties or to invest in that training course. Our training course, the admin training course, is one that we'd recommend if you want to find out more about Salesforce. And we charge just over £2,000 for that course, so it's not cheap. Personally, I would have loved to give that for free, but I went to 5 different investors to start with to try and get investment to fund places for our mums. They wouldn't, unless we were working with the most disadvantaged, or it wasn't what people needed, which felt like it would discriminate. So we do charge for our courses, but our courses are very robust, and absolutely we have a fantastic track record of getting people from A to Z. Over 75% have achieved success, and all those that haven't, to be honest, are ones that have had things going on in their life that has prevented them, like significant health issues or trauma issues that they've had to stop, or they've gone back to their old career for whatever reason. But everybody that's wanted to succeed in a Salesforce job has. That's what I do know for sure. They have made it possible. So think about what you can do to change the situation today. Take these tips away and ask for help from somebody. Say, don't be ashamed. Don't feel like you have to do it on your own. And if we can help you at Supermums, do check it out. If you are interested in property investment, the other organisation that I'm involved in is called Fielding Financial. My property website is called prowessproperties.co.uk, so you can find out more about what I'm doing with property there. And I just wish you every chance of success. As I say, I'm really happy to be here and to have this opportunity to share my story with you. And we have a discount for our Salesforce courses if you want to get started. The discount's available until the 19th of June, and that's called Golden 22. And the reason for that is, I won recognition from Salesforce for the work that I do with Supermums. They got me this lovely golden hoodie, which looks very 80s. And so we're celebrating 3 years from that, because we're going back into London. And it was an amazing opportunity, because we had 50 odd mums and dads there who come together for this event, and we get being awarded this golden hoodie. And it's such an amazing opportunity to be together with everybody that you've helped, and everybody being there and happy that they've got this new life. And this event is coming up next week. So we've got this event again. It's the first time that we've all been back together since the pandemic. We've got loads of our mums and dads that have been on our courses all coming together. So I'm super excited for Thursday. So hence why we're doing this special discount offer. And yeah, it's emotional when you talk about it. Like, you know, it's such a, I'm so glad to be in a better situation. You know, I'm always striving for more. I'm definitely not at that optimum yet. Like, I'm going to raise more investment for properties to help more mums. And I'm going to go out there and ask for help. You know, I'm going to keep going on my journey. So I want you guys to go on your journey too. If you've got any questions, please do reach out to me on DM. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and we've got a Facebook group called Supermums as well. Yeah, if we can help you, that would be fantastic. So thank you so much for listening tonight. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I see we've got some questions. Thank you everybody for your lovely chats. Awesome. I can see somebody's in Trailhead Military. Excellent. Great to see that you're on that already. Thank you very much, everyone. Lovely for your comments. As I say, keep feeding them back to me. If you've got any questions, let me know. And if we can help you, as I say, the links are in the chat. Take care. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Take care. Bye.